You just walked past a bakery. You didn't decide to slow down. Your body did it for you. Somewhere between the smell and the doorway, a decision got made without asking you first. That decision is older than agriculture, older than fire, older than your species, actually, and the real answer is far stranger than willpower or bad habits. Right now, somewhere in your brain, a signal is firing that was built for a world that no longer exists. That signal once meant survival. Today it means a second donut. Nothing about your biology is caught up with the shelf you're standing in front of. Why would it? Evolution doesn't move at the speed of a grocery store. Rewind 2 million years. Your ancestors are foraging through forest and savanna, and calories are not guaranteed. A piece of fruit is not just food, it is information. Sweetness tells the brain something urgent. This is safe, this is ripe, this is energy you can use right now. There is no such thing as too sweet, there is only not enough. The anthropologist Catherine Milton spent years studying the diets of wild primates and early hominins, and her research made something clear. Ripe fruit was one of the richest, most reliable calorie sources available in the ancient forest canopy. Finding it was a skill. Craving it was survival. The primates who felt nothing when they saw ripe fruit simply left fewer offspring than the ones who felt everything. So the craving got wired in. Deep. Permanent. Not as a flaw, but as a feature. Here's where it gets stranger. Your body doesn't just like sugar. It has a hidden switch that turns fructose into fuel for storage instead of fuel for immediate use. The nephrologist Richard Johnson has studied this switch for decades, and his research points to something remarkable. Fructose, the sugar naturally found in fruit and honey, triggers a metabolic pathway that tells the body to store fat and hold on to water. Not because your body is broken, because that response used to save your life. Think about what late summer meant for early humans. Fruit ripened. Bears do this too, and the comparison isn't a coincidence. Before hibernation, bears gorge on fruit and their bodies respond almost exactly the way yours does after a sugary meal. Fat storage increases, insulin resistance rises temporarily. It's not a malfunction, it's preparation. Preparation for what, though? For winter, for famine. For the season when food disappeared and only stored fat kept you alive. Your ancestors who could not switch into this storage mode when sugar was available did not survive the lean months as well as the ones who could. So once again the trait spread, quietly, successfully, across hundreds of thousands of years. Now here's the twist you didn't expect. For most of human history, sugar was rare. Fruit was seasonal. Honey was guarded by bees and hard to reach. A Paleolithic forager might have gone weeks without tasting anything as sweet as a modern soda. Sugar wasn't a daily pleasure, it was an occasional windfall, which means the craving evolved for scarcity, not abundance. Your brain still believes sugar is rare. It still treats every sweet bite like a rare opportunity that might not come again. That belief is ancient, automatic, and completely wrong in a world where sugar sits in vending machines on every corner. The mismatch isn't your fault, it's timing. Your genes are running software written for the Pleistocene, and you're operating in a supermarket. The psychologist and researcher Yale professor Dana Small has spent years studying how modern hyper-palatable foods hijack the reward circuitry that once tracked genuine nutritional value. Her work suggests something unsettling. Modern processed foods combine sugar, fat, and salt in ratios that almost never occur in nature. Your brain has no ancient category for a food this rewarding. It just knows the reward is enormous and it keeps pulling you back. Picture your ancient ancestor finding a beehive. Adrenaline, focus. A narrow window to get the reward before the bees fight back or the fruit rots or a rival group finds it first. That urgency, that focus, that flood of dopamine, it's still inside you. It just doesn't have anywhere honest to go anymore. So it goes toward the bakery window instead. Is that really so different from foraging? In some ways, no. The wanting is the same. The chemistry is the same. Only the environment changed, and it changed far faster than your biology ever could. Consider children. Nearly every parent notices it. Kids gravitate towards sweetness with an intensity adults find exhausting. This isn't a discipline problem, it's evolutionary logic. A growing body needs enormous amounts of energy, and a child's taste system is tuned to seek out calorie-dense food aggressively. The developmental researcher Julie Manella has documented how children's preference for sweetness is measurably stronger than adults, and how that preference gradually calibrates over years of exposure to a wider range of foods. It isn't weakness. It's a growth requirement wearing the disguise of a craving. So if the craving made sense for millions of years, why does it feel like a battle now? Because the target moved and the compass didn't. Sugar used to be locked inside fibrous fruit, sticky honeycombs, and rare seasonal windfalls. Now it's stripped of fiber, concentrated, and available at every hour of every day. Your ancient reward system was never built to encounter sugar this pure or this often. It responds the only way it knows how. Powerfully. Immediately. Without restraint. There's a term for this mismatch. Evolutionary discordance. It describes the gap between the environment your body was shaped for and the environment you now live in. Your cravings aren't malfunctioning, they're accurate responses to an inaccurate world. And this pattern doesn't stop at sugar. It shows up in salt cravings, once vital for hydration in a world without refrigeration. It shows up in the craving for fat, once a rare and precious source of concentrated energy. Sugar is simply the loudest example because it was, for most of human history, the most immediate signal of safety and abundance the body could receive. Here's the part that reframes everything. You are not weak for wanting sugar. You are the descendant of an unbroken line of humans who wanted it enough to survive on it. Every ancestor who didn't crave it strongly enough, who walked past the ripe fruit or the honeycomb without urgency, left fewer descendants. You're standing here today craving that donut because craving worked. The problem was never the craving. The problem is that the world filled that craving with an answer 1,000 times louder than anything nature ever offered. So what do you do with 2 million years of programming built for scarcity, now living inside a world of endless supply? You don't fight your biology. You understand it. Once you know that the pull toward sugar isn't a personal flaw but an inherited survival instinct, it becomes something you can work with instead of something you're constantly losing to. Awareness doesn't erase the craving, but it changes what the craving means. Next time you feel that pull walking past a bakery, remember what's actually happening. It's not a modern weakness talking. It's an ancient forager still scanning the horizon for the one reward that used to mean the difference between starving through winter and making it to spring. It doesn't know the shelves are always full now. It's still running on instructions written long before written language existed. You just walked past a bakery, and for a moment you weren't in a hurry anymore. You were exactly what you've always been. A survivor of scarcity, standing in a world of plenty, still listening to a voice that once kept your entire bloodline alive.